Good evening. It's my pleasure to call the April 10th Dayton Town Council meeting to order at 6:00 p.m. I'd like to remind everyone there are multiple sign-up sheets over at the door. For those who are interested in speaking during the public hearings and or public comment portion of tonight's meeting. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes, and please speak to the council, not to the audience. Could I have a roll call, please?
Yes, the vice absent, Ms. Canal. Mr. Seward.
Here.
Ms. Estes. Mr. Wall. Mr. Didak.
Present.
Mayor Jackson.
Present. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to meet this evening. We ask for your guidance in the matters before us this evening. We ask that you give wisdom to the leaders around the world when they make the decisions that they make. And we ask that you watch out for our first responders and men and women of the military. We ask this in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a full agenda this evening. We'll begin by opening our first public hearing tonight at 6:02. This is hearing the public comments regarding an ordinance partially abandoned the driveway easement. This is for a driveway easement located at the residence of 728 Mason Street, as the town no longer needs this easement to gain access to and from this well lot. However, the town will retain its easement permitting to the town to install, maintain, repair, or replace our utilities. We have no public comment for this one. I adjourn this meeting at 6:03. The next three public hearings are all related to fees and the budget. We will run these hearings concurrently and accept public comment on all. So at this time at 6:03, I will open the public hearing to hear public comments regarding an ordinance amending Appendix A to the town code regarding fees, rates, and charges. I'll open the public hearing to hear public comment on the fiscal year 23 budget amendment, and I'll open the public hearing to hear public comments on the fiscal 24 proposed budget. Council will consider the fees and the amendment tonight, and the fiscal year 24 proposed budget and CIP will be considered at the May meeting. I'll ask interim Bob Holton to give us a report on the budget. Yes, sir.
Okay. Just look at most of them. Because the pleasure working on the budget here today. Don't know. Sometimes things go wrong. Well, now we've got time. Budget balance, all things. There's budget shows a small increase in water super rate, and it's not future increase. And that way we won't have another, and here's another rate increase. A lot of good things, a lot of projects coming down. They're actually for a site for water tank.
There's a water line extension to the first system and we put ground equipment. Yeah, there. Then that's pretty good. The amendments for the FY 23 are largely due to the ARPA funds that were received at the end of the year 22, 6/30, 22.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ms. Smith, that, so just for everyone's benefit of that here, the reason for having the budget amendment is correct because there's the changes are more than 1% total budget, correct? That's the standard procedure.
We have one speaker who has signed up, Jerry Pritchard. Please come to the podium. State your name and your address, please. Generally, we don't respond to public comments, but since this is the budget time, I'll address that. We do have, every year, we transfer money from our water and sewer because the vast majority of our revenue comes from there. We could not have a balanced budget without making the transfers. But if you can look back at previous budgets, that is an every year adjustment that occurs. Yeah, that'll be later. Got you signed up for that one as well. Thank you, Mr. Christian. We'll now close the public hearing at 6:07. I need a motion to approve the minutes for the joint public hearing and the regular town council meeting of March 13th, 2023, and the special called closed session meeting of March 24th, 2023, as presented. Thank you, Mr. Walls. Emily, contests the second. Are there any amendments? Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
All right, now. Justin. Stewart.
Aye.
Mr. Walls. Mr. Jack.
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you very much. First action item is the consideration of the ordinance partially abandoning a driveway easement. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance as presented. Jack, do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Wall. Is there any discussion on this? Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
All right, Mr. Stewart.
Aye.
Mr. Canal. Mr. Wall. Mr. Justin. Mr. Jack.
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Next up is the consideration of the ordinance amending Appendix A to the Town Code regarding fees, rates, and charges. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance as presented.
So moved, and I'll just make note, Mr. Barrett, the council, planning commission did review that and. That's
There. Thanks, Ms. Estes. Is there any discussion on this? Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
All right, Mr. Wall.
Aye.
Mr. Justin. Mr. Canal. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Jack.
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye, motion also passes. Next action item is the approval of fiscal year 23 budget amendment. I'll entertain a motion to approve the fiscal year 23 budget amendment as presented. Amendment. Second. Mr. Seward, and Mr. Wall. Any discussion on this? Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
All right, Mr. Seward.
Aye.
Mr. Walls.
Aye.
Ms. Estes. Mr. Canal. Mr. Jack.
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Now on to the consideration of an ordinance amending section 20-135, 20-138, and 20-172 of the subdivision ordinance in section 30-817 of the zoning ordinance of the town of Dayton, Virginia. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance as presented and is recommended by the planning commission.
Stated it to be a flip.
All right, Mr. Dijak and Ms. Estes, that's second. Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
All right, Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Ms. Canal, Ms. Seward,
Aye.
Mr. Wall.
Aye.
Mr. Estes, Mayor Jackson.
Aye, motion also passes. And finally, tonight is the consideration of the Main Street affiliation resolution. I'll entertain a motion to adopt the resolution reaffirming participation in the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development, Virginia Main Street Program. Mr. Dijak, have a second. Is there any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, motion passes. Thank you very much. Now we're at the public comment section, and you are up again, sir. Thank you, sir. And our next public comment is Sam Lee. That would be one best. We know you like to talk.
What time is that? Their test?
All right, we have a lot of students out here this evening, and we just went through a lot of stuff. So I want to kind of give you a rundown of what all of that jargon meant. So we had, and this was a very full agenda for us this evening. But as you saw, a lot of those things, went very quickly. Part of government is making sure that things are done, out here in the open so people can come. Planning commission is, recommend stuff to the council, and then the council, acts on it, and as you saw tonight, vote on it. So it's not always that many things, and there's a lot of times where there are few things with a lot of discussion. So fortunately, as many things we had tonight, and as you heard, we asked for public comments for these public meetings. And if we give the opportunity for citizens to come speak, as we had 3 speak this evening. So that's kind of what you saw. From time to time, we have to amend our codes and everything else, and that's what we did with the subdivision tonight. So thank you for all coming out. And as soon as we finish this next section, we'll ask each of you to come and speak for a couple minutes. I always love those faces. Psych. All right, so Mr. Holton, if you could give a staff report on all the good things that you have down there.
They're all good. I want to take my report out of the water and start off by saying, I don't know if y'all got criticism that talked about rebuilding the water treatment plant, or if it's more simple, that's a great idea, go ahead with it. But as it's turned out, it's an excellent idea for many reasons. One thing that one you probably don't know, we only bought a couple 100,000 gallons of water from now. Well, that's good because we've been buying 3-4 million gallons from them. And in fact, this new plant is going to save purchases that $30,000. $30,000 was fairly good rate of return for an investment like that. Now that you've done that, what you're looking at next is purchase a plant and the construction of a water storage tank. And the pretty frankly, strong when things go bad here, the water plant breaks down. You've only got a few hours of water. Now, you do have a backup time from the county, but then you get back to that early. So I've been with staff, went out to a couple of sites, talked to complaining about their might want to sell land. And we're moving faster than I thought we might. So that'll be up to the council to carry this through. But that's also a very good idea. And another thing that makes sense. Now, other things on my list, the Mason Creek water lines, you can put one. Wayfair signage will go out. This is May 3rd. We're hoping to start in July. And I think all of it will complete sign when they go up. Now, something that might not be excited but don't have to go out. There's been an issue for your celebration for foot traffic from one part of town to another. And one of the potential ways of doing that was to construct a bridge on Main Street across the street. And the mayor, after checking that they want to call, now it's not cheap. unfortunately, cost $400,000. You have an updated report for the year, which costs about that. And it's sometimes hard to take down costs of projects like that, especially the fact that the Coach Creek floodplain has the council for the picture on the third page. It's quite broad. And things are written at the above the floodplain level. And that makes that column go up. So this is something you can do with the there are have the number, and you have the report. And what's their question? That's all. Big number.
Anybody have any questions? Chief Trout. For the police department.
What just again, keep up the good work there, and things are rolling, and plenty of opportunities and with accreditation as well. But you had mentioned just we've got an audience. You planning a coach for the cop coming up here.
Since we have such a large crowd tonight, can you let everybody know what the importance of accreditation is and the benefit to town? And Chief Trout is also quite the grant writer, which allows us to better equip our police department with new equipment and accessories that the police officers need. If we had to go out and buy all of those things without both the matching grant and the non-matching grant, it really would be popular. So thank you for what you do with all your grant writing, sir. And Mr. Bowman. I have no report. I like to hear. Now we're at the point where mayor and council comment, and we continue to have these senseless acts of violence across the country, and the shootings, and we just recently had an anniversary of the shooting in Florida. What a tragedy that was. And since we have some of these students out here, I think it's important for you guys and gals to understand the importance of this, and listening to your peers or classmates, and when you hear something, so many of these shootings, people had a sense that something was going to go wrong. So it's important for all of you to keep your ears open, and when you hear something, let the proper people know. please let your, friends and peers know. I know there's conversations about that, but it's really critical and we would hate for something like this. It's already happened at college. We would hate to see one of our schools go through this as well. Council comments?
Christmas gifts.
Thank you, Mr. All right, Mr. Dijak for Economic and Community Development and Finance.
Yes, sir. Again, and as at this point too, we've got a lot of amazing creative businesses. And I'll dovetail off of what Mr. Lee said. It's great to be in Dayton, especially this time of year. A lot of excitement. We just had the Easter egg hunt, which was a fantastic event. So thank you to Maggie, PD, and Public Works for getting that all off, and our president Easter Bunny. But again, just fun little small town Americana events there. Dayton Merchants group put together a nice artist event on the 4th, which was fantastic. Again, after our event that Friday, again, little Dayton for food and shaking and ag week at the market. So that was pretty exciting. And here we got a little festival coming up here on Saturday. So everyone come out, droves for your red butts samples that go throughout the town. Businesses. We're excited about that. Also, just note the committee did meet last Wednesday with Ms. Hall and Ms. Roche and supervisor and council members unable to attend today. We did cover a number of the projects that Mr. Holden mentioned. We also talked about the events and business signage and just continuing to work on promoting our businesses. To that end, I'm glad to see Ms. Lyon and be featured at Silver Lake Hill at the for our business spotlight series. We have Whole Hill Bikes. It's being highlighted this week. We've got that reefer as well as Mr. mentioned. Also, congratulations to Lone Pine Lighting. I did want to mention that. You may have noticed that there's a little hole there in the market right now after 35 plus years. Lone Pine Lighting at the Shanks have decided to retire. So we're wish them well. We'll maybe talk a little bit about them recognizing them later. But just wanted to congratulate them for being a staple here. They really one of the initial founders, along with the cheese place and others in the market. So it wouldn't be where it is today without folks like Chen. So congrats to them. And also just one of the last business spotlight, we've got Valley Water Gardens having the grand reopening April 24th. So there you go. Good to see a continuation, but new ownership. So we're excited for that. So that's great. Want me to roll right into finance?
Yes, sir.
All right. Apparently we've got a budget, so there we go. Thanks for all the comments there, but seriously, there's a lot goes into that. I'm just gonna blow right by.
No work involved in that at
Yeah,
all.
exactly. That's but in all seriousness, there's a lot of work to get us to that point for that nice little, even just as simple as putting that newsletter together. Thank you very much, Mr. Holt and Ms. Smith for tireless hours. Our fearless treasurer, Ms. Susan Smith, has worked a ton behind the scenes and accelerated the schedule. So which is fantastic to get this up even in a month before and get everything out for you all to review. There's still time for comments before we've got another month before May 8th day when we'll actually adopt the budget. So if there's other comments, please send them our way. But a lot of credit goes out to staff for putting this together and making sure we've got realistic requests. Then all the projects that you'll see here. So there's a lot to be thankful for. On that note, I thank you. Any questions?
Thanks, sir. Mr. Seward for Infrastructure and Police.
Either one that, but nobody active we are. The water treatment plant is now out of our committee, right? Fantastic job by the actually the council. Nothing on that on the police committee, did not meet, but kudos to Lieutenant Hooker and Officer Airman for everything. Property room, and I'm sure the other officers were in that as well, so. I'm not a complex graduate, but
Yeah, going back to infrastructure for just a second, and you've heard multiple times this evening where the water treatment plant has come about. That was a $3.4 million project. And town is in outstanding financial shape. We were able to pay for that without any debt. Didn't have to borrow anything. We were able to pay for that, both American Rescue, help, but then our reserves as well. So it is unusual for municipalities to be able to pay for a project of that magnitude without having to pay their debt. So that's thank you, Mr. Holt. Mr. Waltz for Parks and Recreation. Thank you, sir. And Ms. Mathias is not with us this evening. Ms. Pinella, can I give a brief summary of the Personnel Committee? We have no unfinished business to discuss tonight. Do we have any new business to discuss? That time, need a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
Take the time, y'all.
Do I have a second?
It's always the so.
Mr. Wool, all in favor? All opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Oh, yeah, I would.
and I think you're gonna get that way.